John Bartlett. He is running for Indiana House District 33.
John Bartlett, as you just said. This is my third run for this seat. I've been in Randolph County most of my life. My parents still live up in the northwest corner. So in Randolph County quite a lot. So this is home to me, even though I live in Blackford County. But I really appreciate being here again tonight. Last year when I spoke to you, I laid out kind of what I want to do, what my ideas are to improve these the communities in rural Indiana. Real quickly, 3 points. Education, improve the education level of people living in Indiana, because we are among the 10 lowest states in both high school diplomas and in college diplomas. Businesses won't come here for that. I want to improve the situation that we have with our healthcare system. The monopolies are running rampant in Indiana. They're supposed to be nonprofit, and yet we have 30% higher rates in Indiana than if you go a block that way into Ohio. And when we pay 30% more for a knee replacement, that inhibits companies from deciding to move here because they know that they're going to have to pay more money out for their healthcare. And the third thing was we need to build infrastructure. Our roads, you know how the roads are. We're still working on them. Things are improving, but we're still working on them. We need to get this accomplished, and we also need to lay fiber optic broadband internet out here in the countryside. You do those 3 things, businesses will come here. I wish I could just end on that, but I'm sorry, I can't. And this is where it's going to take a dark turn, and I am very sorry. Dark things have happened at the state level this year in all 3 of those areas. The first one hits Randolph County hard because our representative, J.D. Prescott, and your state senator, here, Scott Alexander, put in the property tax bill, which the property tax bill is bad enough as it is. But they put in there, as you all know, to close Union School Corporation down in Modoc. Unconstitutional, but how does that help improve our education? They say it's because of low test scores. Well, yes, a lot of kids have left Modoc, left Union School Corporation to go to other schools because of education and athletic opportunities. But Union School Corporation has 60% of its kids who are special needs and have IEPs. I have 2 autistic children, and I can guarantee you we never passed one of the standardized tests. If you have kids, 60% of your kids with IEPs, you're not going to pass those tests. Why? We're closing one of the school districts. It has nothing to do with the test scores. It has to do with money. It's because of their online program that they have, where they are managing 9,000 students statewide. And with those students that they are managing, they get to keep 5% of what the company brings in, and that makes them the richest school district in the state. They bring in over $3 million a year for managing those kids. That's what they want. Okay? It has nothing to do with that. They're destroying education. They're not helping it. Secondly, let's talk about the healthcare thing. This happened more at the federal level with the big, beautiful bill cutting Medicaid. The original bill cut Medicaid by $910 billion over the next 10 years. $155 billion of that was to come to rural hospitals. With that, they added $50 billion back, but they're still down $105 billion. And I know you guys have all seen this list. There's a list of 12 hospitals in rural Indiana that are in danger. Winchester, Portland, and Decatur are all on that list. If all 3 of those close, the border counties of Indiana that border Ohio will have 0 hospitals in the 100 miles between Reed and Richmond and Lutheran in Fort Wayne. That's 100 miles to the next hospital. My question to Mr. Prescott was, what are you going to do? Oh, they're not going to close. I talked to them. They're not going to close. There are no plans to close. Like, there are no plans to close now. I live in Blackford County. You know, 2 years ago, we lost our hospital. We don't have a hospital in Blackford County now. Last month, my wife had a big seizure. And we were lucky, first of all, that the ambulance was in the county. We were lucky and then we were lucky that we still had a hospital in Portland because we went to Portland. Because the wait at Ball was 4 hours. So we got over to Portland, got right into Portland, thank God. But if those hospitals close, here's what you're looking at, Winchester. Here's what you're looking at, Randolph County. You're looking at your ambulances being out of county more. Another example, last year, just before Christmas, a friend of mine in Hartford City had a heart attack 2 days before Christmas. There were no ambulances. He had to get himself into his car and drive to Ball while having a heart attack. That's what you're looking at. You're talking 45-minute rides to a hospital. Just the ride. That puts you outside the golden hour if you're having a heart attack or stroke to make yourselves, to have a better chance of survival and recovery. That's what you're looking at. Several of you participated a few weeks ago in the motorcade for Medicaid, where we drove from Richmond and we ended up in Decatur. I thank everybody who showed up and supported us out at the hospitals in Winchester and Portland. You guys were amazing. Those of you who helped make the drive and drive some of the legs, it was awesome. We really appreciated it. We got good press out of it. We drew some big attention to it. But, and you guys in Randolph County know from last year what happens when you get a tornado watch. You start watching out, right? What happens when you get the warning? You go into the basement or you go seek your shelter, right? Well, guess what? We've got a warning right now. Well, I shouldn't say, we've got a watch. We've got to watch if these hospitals are going to close. And we need to be prepping. We need to be getting ready for that warning to come so that we can get into the shelter and protect our hospitals. And the third thing is possibly the most concerning to me, and it has two legs. First of all, how many of you know where, I know you know, how many of you know where New Carlisle is? New Carlisle is up by South Bend, a little west of South Bend. It's a town about twice the size of Parker, farmland. It's got about 2,000 people, very big agricultural community. Have you guys heard about New Carlisle? What's going on there? They are now own the largest data center in the United States. Amazon put it in. You know what's happening because of that? The data centers are sucking up the water. They've tapped into the Kankakee aquifer, and they're sucking the water out of the ground to cool those processors. Rather than having a water treatment plant and recycling the water, that's what they're doing. And they're sucking it out at such a rate, it's like 2 to 3 million gallons a day is what they're sucking out of the ground, that the lakes and the ponds and the streams are virtually dry this year. On top of the drought, the ones that usually have water are almost dry. Okay? They were getting ready to put this one, Michigan City Council just approved one this week. Okay? So there's going to be another data center, a huge data center going in Michigan City. The tax abatements were approved. And Franklin Township down in Marion County, that's the southeast corner, so it's like cutting off to 52 to Rushville or 74 down to Cincinnati. Google is putting in a huge one down there, but they pulled the proposal moments before the county council voted on it. There's such opposition to it because they're going to be drawing 2 to 3 million gallons of water out of the Indianapolis water supply. Okay? So, we've got the data centers. Now here's another little thing about the data centers. The one up in New Carlisle uses the electricity of 1 million households. We only have 2.6 million households in Indiana. So one data center is going to pull the power of 40% of all the houses, homes in Indiana. So our legislature this year, so we can get more data centers coming in, they approved this bill that allows for modular nuclear reactors to be brought to our cornfields. You know, forget about the windmills and solar panels and all the opposition to that. How about nuclear reactors sitting in our cornfields?
What could go wrong?
Okay, the nuclear reactors, the modular nuclear reactors are small and they're in series, so you're going to get a bunch of them. Each one of them can produce up to 300 megawatts of power. Running at 300 megawatts of power, one nuclear reactor will pull 4 million gallons of water a day for cooling. One. Where do you get the water to cool that in a cornfield? Our wells are going to be dry. We're going to be a desert. Our beautiful farmland is going to be a desert. Okay? I just can't fathom that. And not just that, get this. What the legislature approved is to put the development costs of those modular nuclear reactors onto our power bills. We're going to be paying for the development of those modular nuclear reactors. And they think this is necessary. Okay? Well, the thing about it is that these modular nuclear reactors won't be done, the technology won't be there for 15 to 20 years. But I pay attention to science. I'm kind of a geek on science and stuff like that. You guys know what nuclear fusion is, right? It's the sun's power. We made such advances in the last 2 years on nuclear fusion that we're building prototype nuclear fusion reactors in Virginia and in California right now. There is no nuclear radiation that comes off of those. You get helium out of it, that's at the end. Instead of nuclear waste, you have to put it at the bottom of the lake or ocean somewhere. But that, we're talking 5 to 10 years out for that. So we're going to be paying for technology that's going to be 5 to 10 years out of date when they get it done. I'm sorry, folks, that's dark. We're not going to have any water. They're closing school. We're not going to have any hospitals. What's left? We have to break the supermajority. They don't care about us. They don't care about anything. They don't care about the Constitution of Indiana. The Constitution of Indiana bars them from redistricting in any year other than immediately after a census. The Indiana Constitution does this. They're calling a special session in November to redistrict for the congressional districts. It's unconstitutional. They don't care. They have a supermajority. They don't have to care. So I want to get back to improving our rural Indiana, and I want to get away from harming it. So I appreciate any of your support you can give me. If you don't have my QR code, it's on my thing. If you could please donate anything. I hate to pitch that. Everybody hates to ask for money, but I can't do this alone. I got to get ads and things out there. So if you could please donate to me, I would greatly appreciate it. My act was on there. So thank you.
Thank you so much, John. And John is on, he has a website, and we share some of the things that he posts on Randolph County Indiana Democrats.